Hello everyone, welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike, and today we are going to be serving you up a slice of life. Not a slice of pizza or a slice of pie. Sorry, that would be kind of nice. But no, it's a slice of life. We're going to be talking about life, maybe talking about some things that might be coming up in your lives, sharing some wisdom and advice. And actually, if you are coming to the end of college or maybe high school, but often college, we're going to be talking about gap years. That's right, a gap year, basically taking a year off your planned studies, the things that you want to continue to study and the schools you want to go to, but taking a break in there for basically a year. A gap is kind of like a space. So we're just pausing our education. You will go back to school, you will go back to university or wherever, but you're going to take a break. You're going to take a gap year. This is something a lot of people kind of think about doing, you know, should you do it? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? It's a difficult decision. If you do, you know, sometimes your friends will be a year ahead of you next year if they stay in school. And where are you going to go? What are you going to do for this gap year? Big questions. So we're going to be looking at some of these big questions and hopefully sharing some useful advice with you guys in our article titled with a question to ask yourself and to think about. Should you take a gap year? Yeah, you're right. You were thinking about it. I know you were thinking about it. You probably talked to your friends about it too. Wow. Should you take one? I don't know. Check out the article though.
High school students have to decide something important about their future. Should they go to college after they finish school? Or should they take a gap year?
So yeah, it's a big question. Should you take a gap year? Should you kind of pause your studies for a year between high school, university, or maybe one level of university before the next one and take a year off? Of course, we're not talking about, well, I just finished grade 6. Before I go to grade 7 in junior high, I'm going to take a gap year. Yeah, now I'm 11 years old. I'm going to go to Australia and work. No, of course, this is for older students. Younger students, I would say, get through to the end of high school. We're not talking about a gap year before the end of high school, but certainly once you finish high school, before you go to university. Yeah, that might be a time when people think about taking a gap year, taking a year off, taking a break from their education to go and do something else. Let's check out the article, see what it says there. High school students have to decide something important about their future. High school students have to decide many important things about their future, but of course gap years is definitely one of those. But let's talk about high school. High school is, yeah, after junior high school. Sometimes we call it senior high school, but basically I think in America this would be kind of grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. That would be high school. Senior high school is 4 years. Junior high school would be the 3 years before that. And of course, once you finish high school, you're around 18 years old. And then when you're 18, 19, then you go off to college or university. So high school is that when you finish before you go off to college or university, if that's what you decide to do. But yeah, many people end their education at high school and then go off, get training, get a job, do something different, or maybe take a gap year, something like that. And when we talk about your future, we're not really using it in kind of the grammar sense, like the past, the present, and the future. No, we're kind of talking about your life to come. When someone says, hey, what do you want to do with your future? They're kind of saying in the next 5, 10, 15 years, or possibly for the rest of your life, right? Yeah, your future is tomorrow, or even 10 minutes from now, that's your future, but we don't really mean it. So if your grandmother says, what are you going to do with your future? You don't say, well, in 10 minutes, I'm going to get some water and then maybe 20 minutes later I might, take a nap. No, they're saying in the future, in the rest of your life. And they're kind of probably asking, what are you going to study in university? What kind of job do you want to have? Do you want to get married and have kids? These kinds of big questions about the rest of your life or your future, all right? So something important to decide about your future if you are just finished high school. And what are those important things? Well, here's a couple of them. Should they, that's the students who are leaving high school, should they go to college after they finish school? Yeah. Should you just go straight from high school right into college or university, as we sometimes call it? And as I said, many students do that and are quite happy to do that. You finish high school in June or July, and then by September of the same year, a few months later, you're right into your new college, your first year of university, or something like that. And sure, lots of people do that. Or, and this is more to our article, or should they take a gap year? Should they take that year off between finishing high school and beginning university? That's a big question. And sure, when we talk about college, we're talking about university. It's the same kind of thing. In America, they are more likely to call it college. In other parts of the world, in Europe and Canada, people might say university. There are a few small differences. Often big universities will have colleges in them, and the college is really focused on studying one type of thing. So you go to medical college to be a doctor or something like that, but it's part of a university. But in many cases, we use this word in exactly the same way. The school that you go to after you finish high school, college, university. Should you take a gap year before you go? Big question. We'll have answers for you after the break.
A gap year is a break from school. It gives students time to experience the world and find themselves. Some may decide to get jobs and make money. However, most decide to do things to help them grow. Many give their time to help others. Many also go abroad to learn other languages or experience other cultures.
All right, so the question of a gap year. Should you take a year off or a gap year after high school before you go to college? It's something some people might think about doing. Well, let's find out more about this whole gap year idea. It says a gap year is a break from school. Exactly right. When we talk about a gap, it's kind of a space. It's kind of a hole or an open space. There are other things around them, but then there's a gap. There's something that's not in that space when you would expect something to be there, right? So normally people keep studying until they finish college or get wherever they want to be in life, and then they stop school altogether and go off to work. So the gap is the space in those year after year of studying, school after school, until you finish and go off to work. So you take a break from school. And why do people take a gap year? Well, here's a good example. It says it gives students time to experience the world and find themselves. Absolutely. That is one of the great advantages of taking a gap year. For young people, for students, it gives them time to experience the world and find themselves. All right? So when you're experiencing the world, you're going out and seeing new things, learning new things, and it also gives you a chance to find yourself. When we say find yourself, it's not like, where am I? Oh, I can't find my hands, or I'm disappearing like magic or something. No, it means basically learning about yourself, learning about the kind of person you are, maybe discovering the things that you're really passionate about, or the kind of things you want to study and maybe work at and spend the rest of your life doing. Often, young people go to school, live at home, they don't have the experiences that you might have when you get out there on your own, travel, meet new people, try new things, and in that whole process, you will find yourself, or basically learn who you really are when you get to, live life on your own. When we talk about taking a break or a gap year, a break is basically a rest period, okay? You're doing something and then someone says, okay, everyone, let's take 10 minutes to just rest. That's a break. The idea with a break is you're going to go back to work after the break, all right? So if you quit your job and say, I'm never going to work again, that's not a break. That's just quitting your job and never working again. If you quit one job, take some time off, and then go back to another job or go back to the same job, you took a break, all right? So the idea with a break is it's a rest, it's a time when you're not doing something, but you were doing something before, and you will go back to doing something after your break, all right? And yeah, a good gap year, a good break, if you travel, if you try new things, you'll get to experience new things. When you experience something, you're there, it happens to you, you see it, it becomes part of you, it gives you feelings and memories, it affects your life in some kind of way. If you read about it or watch a TV show about it, you kind of experience it, but through another person, right? The filmmaker shows it to you. You watch that and you feel things, but you weren't actually there, all right? So to experience something, you have to actually be there. It has to be a part of your real life story, not just kind of something you might read about in a magazine or on a news website. It's something that affected you personally, face-to-face in real life. All right, for a gap year, what will people do? Well, yeah, take a break, experience new things, but doing what? Well, the article gives some examples. Some may decide to get jobs and make money. Well, sure, yeah, take some time off from high school, but before high school and college, you can get a job, you can make some money. If you're going to somewhere like America, where college can be quite expensive, that's a pretty good idea, right? If you want to study certain things, like study to be an airplane pilot, well, learning how to fly can often be expensive, or going off to a really good music or art school, that can cost money too. So getting a job and making some money to save to get you ready for college? Sure, yeah, why not? However, the article continues, most people decide to do things to help them grow. And again, here we're not talking about, I'm going to drink milk and play basketball so I'll be taller, I will grow. We're not talking about growing in your body. We mean growing in your mind and your soul and your life. Finding yourself. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. Growing by having experiences outside of your normal life. Many, it says, give their time to help others. Well, that's a great way to grow. Help others. Give your time. Volunteer. Work at a charity. Help out, people who need help and people who you can go and give energy and love to, or effort, and people who can't do things on their own and need a friendly help of helping hands. You can go and help those by giving your time, by volunteering and helping others. It says many also go abroad to learn other languages or experience other cultures. Yeah, these student visa programs that they have in Australia and Canada, other parts of the world. You can go abroad, go to another country, learn another language, and experience other cultures. When we talk about language, we're talking about ways people in different countries and different cultures communicate. French, English, Mandarin, these are all different languages. Spanish, Japanese, German, popular languages to learn. And if you go and live in another country that's not like your own country, people there will often speak a different language, and you can learn the language. You can also learn about their culture. Language is a part of culture. Food is a part of culture. Tradition is a part of culture. This is what makes different peoples from different parts of the world different from each other. Their religion, their language, their food, their traditions, their beliefs, their music, their clothing. These are all parts of their culture. And when you're interested in another part of the world, you're probably mainly interested in parts of their culture that are different or special or unusual from your own. And travel is a great way to learn about culture, learn languages, find yourself, to grow by having experiences. Sure, go ahead and do that. If that's what you want to do and you have the money to do it, it's a great option for a gap year. Well, I hope we've answered a few of the questions you might have about taking a gap year. We'll have more good advice for you tomorrow. So until then, be well, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
High school students have to decide something important about their future. Should they go to college after they finish school? Or should they take a gap year? A gap year is a break from school. It gives students time to experience the world and find themselves. Some may decide to get jobs and make money. However, most decide to do things to help them grow. Many give their time to help others. Many also go abroad to learn other languages or experience other cultures.
嗨，各位同学，我是维尼，又到了今天学新单字文法的时间喽。第一个是 high school， 中学，它是名词。Did your sister go to a public or private high school？ 你姐姐念的中学是公立的还是私立的？那第二个单字是 future， 未来、将来，它是名词。She has a great future as an actress。身为演员，她的前途不可限量。第三个字是 break， 它是指短暂的休息的意思，也是名词。Our lunch break is usually an hour long。我们的午休时间通常是1个小时。那最后这个字是 language， 它是语言，是名词。What language do people in Norway speak？ 挪威的人民讲的是什么语言呢？那我们来看一下今天新的片语 phrases。首先呢，介绍给大家这个字是 something important， 某件重要的事情。那这个用法很特别哦，因为一般来说我们习惯会把形容词摆在名词的前面，比方说像是a beautiful girl 或者是 a big apple， 这边形容词都是放在名词的前面作为修饰。那 something 呢，它是不定代名词的关系，所以形容词要放在它的后面。那其他相似的字，比方说anything、nothing、something 等等，看到这些字的时候，记得要把形容词放在后面哦。比方说 nothing special， 没什么特别的，或是 something new， 一些新的东西。那来看个例句 ：Toby wants to buy something special for his friend。Toby 想要买一样特别的东西送给朋友。接下来第二个片语是 make money， 赚钱。Money 呢，记得前面不会加任何的冠词，它不会有也不会有 the。那看个例句 ：There are a lot of ways to make money。赚钱有很多种方法。最后是 go abroad， 出国。Abroad 指的是异国、海外的意思。Stacy went abroad on business. Stacy 到国外出差。
Hi everyone, I'm Steven.
Hey everybody, I'm Shane.
Today we're at Taipei Zoo's Temperate Zone Animal Area.
What's a temperate zone?
Temperate zones are places that have 4 seasons: summer, winter, autumn, and spring.
Okay, so places like the United States, Canada, northern China, these are all in temperate zones.
Exactly. During the summer, temperate zone areas are hot, just like Taiwan, but during the winter, they're extremely cold.
So what kind of animals can we find there?
We'll find out today. Let's go.
Let's go.
American bison can travel hundreds of miles for food. There used to be millions of American bison in North America. By the end of the 19th century, fewer than 1,000 of them were left. People then stopped hunting them and started breeding them, and finally this animal was saved. The gray wolf, cougar, and northern lynx are great hunters in the temperate zone. However, they are all threatened by human activity and in need of protection. Bears live on fruits, berries, nuts, and small animals. Brown bears also catch salmons during the fish's annual run. The Asian black bear's most famous trait is the white V on their chest. The Formosan black bear is one of its subspecies. This cute little thing is the red panda. It is called a panda, but it is totally different from the giant panda in China. The only thing in common between them is that they both eat bamboo. The temperate zone animal area is located at the top of Taipei Zoo. It is home to fierce beasts as well as cute small animals. It's very convenient to get here by shuttle train, and you can take in the view along the way. It's surely worth a visit.
See you next time!